I'm back in the streets of Paris, my hometown that I left a few years ago. So now we're heading, we don't have much time, but we're heading to Père Lachaise, the cemetery where all the famous people are buried in Paris, because there are a few interesting Armenian people that are buried there. We are now inside Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris. This is the largest cemetery in Paris, and with 3 million visitors every year, this is also the most visited cemetery in the world. Here you can find the graves of many famous people like Frédéric Chopin or Edith Piaf, Jim Morrison, but also a few Armenians, and we're going to discover their graves together today. So you might be thinking how to find a grave when you are in the cemetery. So it works with divisions like this. Here we have 47, and I know that 47 is where we can find the grave of Nubar Pasha. So we're gonna go inside, use the stairs. And I hope we'll find it. You can see it's autumn in Paris, and we have all these, what do we call that? Châtaigne? Marron? I don't know. So yeah, I recognize it from the pictures. This is Nubar Pasha's grave. This is the grave of the Nubar family. Boros Nubar Pasha is buried here. Boros Nubar Pasha, famous for being one of the founders of HGBU in Cairo in 1906. He is also the son of a very important Egyptian Armenian politician that was for 3 times, I think, Prime Minister of Egypt at the end of the 19th century, Nubar Pasha. So Boros Nubar Pasha, his son, passed away in Paris, and here is his grave in the Père Lachaise Cemetery. We are now going further because we're looking for a few other Armenian people that are buried here, and also a few other memorials. On the way to the next graves, here is the crematorium of Père Lachaise. Now we arrive in a special part of the cemetery that is dedicated to the foreign fighters that helped France in history. So all the foreigners that fought for France have a memorial here. So like for example, the first one I see is to the Polish people, aux Polonais morts pour la France, and the next one is for the Armenians. So this is the memorial for the Armenians that fought for France. À la mémoire des Arméniens de l'armée française, morts pour la France. Ihishadak, Hai, Heros, Razmigneru, okay. Dima Draganeru, Nahatakneru. I think it's what's written in Armenian. And here actually you even have Hajin, Adana, Marash, Antep, for the Légion d'Orient, the legion with the Armenians. Syrie, Liban, Cilicie, Moussadar, and the French cities, Champagne, Somme, Nancy. So now we'll just leave the alley with the foreign soldiers and we go here because There is a memorial, a separate one for General Antranik. It's not his grave, but it's a memorial, so let's check it out. Once you are on the right division, it's not easy to find the grave. Like here, we're just behind the memorial, and I know that here you have the graves of Shavash Misakian and Shahan Shahnur, but where it's not easy, so you have to go and check all the graves to find it. So yeah, let's look for it. As you can recognize, the memorial for the Armenian soldiers of the French Legion from the other side. And let's keep looking. And I found it here with the letter Sh in Armenian. Here are the graves of Shavash Misakian, founder of Harach, one of the main, actually, historic French Armenian newspaper, Shahan Shahnur, and Arpik Misakian, who passed away recently. She was the last editor of Harach. Zoravar Antranik passed away in California, actually, in 1927. He was going to be buried in Armenia, but when they took his body on the way to Soviet Armenia, at that time the Soviet authorities refused the entrance of the body to Armenia, so it was located in Paris. And the Armenian church in Paris decided to organize the funerals here. That's why we have Zoravar Antranik that was buried for a long time here in Père Lachaise Cemetery. Recently, in 2000 actually, 23 years ago, the Armenian government and the French government agreed on the transfer of Antranik's grave to Yerablur in Yerevan, Armenia. Very near the memorial of Zoravar Antranik, there is also the grave of Avedis Armenian, writer and politician of the First Republic. So let's find it. It should be around here. And yeah, that's this one. Président de la délégation de la République arménienne, so of the First Armenian Republic from 1918 to 20. There is also a few others. I think there is Krikor Odian, so we're going to look for it, and one or two other Armenian graves, so let's see if we find them. That's not really the ones I'm looking for, but sometimes I also see quite many actually graves with Armenian last names, like this one here, because it's like actually a regular cemetery also, where for a very long time many Parisians were buried. So here, for example, randomly I found a few graves with Armenian names. Chilingirian or Manisalian. I see another one there. Interesting how they use Armenian letters, Armenian alphabet on most of them. It's most of the time bilingual with the name in French and Latin letters, and also in Armenian with Armenian letters, which is here too. Very interesting how they kept the language too. Very important to keep the culture in the form of the Armenian alphabet, even on the grave, because that's That's also what remains of the ancestors, so it's a good way of showing that their culture and their heritage is preserved. Behind me, the grave of Krikor Odian. He was a very important figure of Ottoman Armenians. He was one of the main people in the redaction of the Armenian national constitution in the 19th century in the Ottoman Empire, but also of the Ottoman constitution of 1876. So he is also buried in Paris. A very interesting and beautiful grave with bilingual again, Patriote Armenian, with the Armenian cross and his picture. I'm running out of time in Père Lachaise now, so we're gonna end up here. I'm sure there are also a few others. Actually, there is a Rupen Terminacian that has his grave here. I didn't find it because I didn't find the number of the division. So if you know it, let me know, and we'll come back and we'll look for the graves we didn't find. Before leaving Père Lachaise Cemetery, I wanted to thank you for watching. If you like this kind of format of vlogging to discover Armenian landmarks, just tell it in the comments, share the video, subscribe of course if you didn't to the YouTube channel, so I can provide more of this kind of content. Exactly outside of the cemetery there is also Allée Zabel Yesayan. Recently inaugurated by the municipality of Paris, so I wanted to show it to you before we leave the Père Lachaise area.